Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone and welcome to Zest is in with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that takes you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. I am super excited to welcome my guest today, Sarah Rowan. She is Australia's first keynote speed painter, motivational speaker and transformational storyteller. Through her lived art and electrifying presence, which you will see in a minute, she turns forgettable moments into unforgettable experiences, sparking creativity, curiosity, and bold action in her audiences all around the globe. What a pleasure it is to have her today. If you feel called, I invite you to share a little love by helping amplify incredible guest voices like my guest today, Sarah's, by subscribing to future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, but reaches many more hearts, minds. So please share some love, and if you have done so already, mwah, and may this conversation bring you the creativity, the expression, and just that bold curiosity that you might be seeking. Welcome.
Thank you. What an intro. Thanks, Shel Marie.
You're so welcome. And so first of all, I know people who listen regularly know this, but I just like to explain it to my guests. And I feel like I didn't say this beforehand because I feel like there's a reason why I want to explain it while we're recording. So as someone who loves painting and does it very much privately, and I know the process behind it, as well as someone who speaks as well, and again, it is very often from my heart and intentional and not planned, but the thought of combining both and very fast. I'm guessing the word speed. Of course, I haven't looked too much into what the length and the exact way that you carry it out on purpose, because I really want to be curious. I don't want to know too much so that I can really pull out those beautiful gems. So just talk me through that. How did this all come together? I think it's absolutely incredible.
Well, thank you. It was definitely an unearthing of necessity, because when I graduated in 2003 from university with fancy art diploma, I looked around at all my art friends and none of us knew how to make a living, and we all became waitresses and bartenders because we're like, how do we make a living from our art? And so after 6 months of waitressing, I thought, okay, $2.30 an hour back in the US at this time, plus tips. This is not a survival method that I'd rather paint and starve to death than do this. And I had to find what was my differentiating factor, what was my point of difference. And I knew I loved entertaining people because in high school I used to perform basketball tricks, like spin 6 basketballs at once and juggle basketballs like the Harlem Globetrotters. And so I would be performing at high schools at the age of 15 at other high schools. So I knew I had this love of entertainment, and I wouldn't mind messing up in front of people because, of course, if you're juggling or spinning basketballs, they're going to drop, they're going to fall. So I'd already been exposed to that experience. So I was like, okay, I like entertaining people. And I love speaking. At the age of 8, I knew I wanted to be a speaker because I was surrounded by these incredible speakers coming to my school. At the age of 8, I was actually in Singapore at the time.
Wow.
And I went to this private, beautiful school that had these incredible speakers come, like we're talking Roald Dahl, author of Matilda, reading from the BFG type of communicators. And at that young age, I thought, I want to do something so interesting with my life that I'm the one invited to the schools to inspire the next generation. So I combined the love of entertainment and the love of speaking, and then this art degree that I was like, what the heck? And I went to a venue and I said, okay, the next time there's a band playing some music, can I stand on the side of the stage and paint?
Wow.
And this was 2004, before I'd ever heard or seen of it before. And they said, well, we've never heard of that. I said, well, I haven't either. And they said, oh, okay.
Let's have a go.
The next thing I knew, I was on stage and there were 4,000 people to see this band. And I was just shitting myself. I I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna rock up with some paint and canvas. I probably brought oil paint because I was coming straight out of university. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was so much fun. Now I've learned to use acrylic because it's washable a bit more and it dries
It
fast.
dries faster, yeah, much
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah. And so I've been doing it now I'm on this year will be 22 years in business.
Wow.
And painted at over 600 events, over 3,000 paintings. Gosh, it's just been a whirlwind.
Wow.
A whirlwind.
Wow. First of all, just before we dive into those incredible paints that we can see behind you, I can imagine as well, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I can imagine you just did that for free to start with as well. That event, they gave you an opportunity.
Oh, we're talking, I think, 15 years.
So
15 years.
Wow. So I just want
cafes, clubs.
Yeah. So I actually, because I think sometimes, and again, it's not saying that this is the only way, and I'm sure you're going to really like show that, because you said such a strong, which I believe is something that is quite heavily imprinted into society, statement of artist, the starving artist, which needs to change 100%. And I believe you're leading the way with that. So there's a reason why I purposely felt like I wanted to comment on that, because sometimes when people don't understand, and we don't even understand sometimes the reason why we're doing what we're doing, but we know there's a greater reason for it, you have to grab the opportunity however it looks. And you so beautifully expressed it. Like, it wasn't even like it was like, and again, please correct me if I'm summarizing this inaccurately, but it didn't sound like you were like, oh, do you know, I've got all these savings, I'm just a bit bored and now I fancy doing that. You were saying you were waitressing. You know, that is not just a go in and the job's done. That's a very strenuous, like, physical role, and I'm sure you were doing multiple to that as well, like what you just said, probably gigs, again, finding multiple ways. And I think sometimes creativity is often like overlooked because of that. Like, I think people really don't realize, like even when I speak to people on here, they could be a lawyer, and then they're in a pantomime, they're this. I think people don't realize, you don't just jump on a stage and then you're like, I'm having a great time, everyone. There's preparation, there's mindset, there's so many layers to it, but it's almost seen as just a hobby, and it's I believe much more than a hobby, which you have so beautifully showed through your bravery. Because there's us liking our images, there's us going like, they're my little baby that I enjoy, and then there's doing it in front of what you just said, thousands or whatever it was. Like, that's another level. And quickly, and not making mistakes are life, so.
well, thankfully, if it's a mistake to me, it's not a mistake hardly to anyone else, because they don't know what it's supposed to look like.
Yes,
and half the time I don't know either, because one area where I'm different from most speed painters will do famous faces that they have practiced and they know it's going to work.
Yes.
Whereas 90% of the time I'm doing an image I've never done before.
Well, that was what I wanted to know, because I had a feeling that you would take another layer to it of, again.
I want to be surprised. I want to have that excitement. I want to have that curiosity. I want to bring that in instead of going, oh yeah, I know that when I spin the easel around, because I have a spinning easel. It's really cool. Artistic.com. If you are an artist and do not have an artistic, ARTRISTIC, get one of them. You can actually use my name, Rowan, and check out, and you'll get a discount.
Amazing.
Because they're like, okay, you're one of the few people in the world that use this in front of audiences.
Amazing.
Just connect them. And it's so much fun because you spin it around and you have this childlike wonder of, and the whole audience goes, ooh! And I get that excitement too of, oh my God, it worked. It worked.
Yeah. Wow. And deeper than the art, which is a huge, massive skill that you are absolutely inspiring others with, like, the joy and the excitement and the love that you're getting, like that is much more than just your passion. That is service to the world, I believe. You're providing something that is bringing that like what you say, that childlike wonder, not only out of you, but it's contagious to all around you. And imagine again, like you were like, I definitely I had no idea. I was all over the place, but you had an idea. But I mean, imagine those children in the audience, if I'm assuming that
If it's a
there's
school,
families,
yeah.
yeah, that you are really shaping their minds. And I believe it's bold, courageous moves, which is why I want to speak to you today, where we start really just chipping away at these these starving artists and all these things, and we really show, no, if you really believe in something, you can put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. And I believe that you've done that. So thank you, Sarah.
Oh, it's such a joy and a journey. I remember last week I was looking through my books of my income over the past 20 years because I transitioned from sole operator into a company a few months ago, and I was getting rid of one form of software and opening up a new one. So I thought, oh, I need to like print out all my records and just, have some sort of semblance before I delete the software. And looking back at the beginning days where it was like $11,000 profit for the whole year. And then now it's just six figures every year, and realizing when did the jump happen? The jump happened in two ways. One, I began to authentically love myself. Whereas before I went through these 20 years of conversion therapy. I went through a 12-year mixed orientated relationship. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically a very brainwashing, life, soul suffocating method of trying to take someone's sexuality and make it stereotypical heterosexual.
Yeah.
And
sorry to hear
I went,
that.
but it had its purpose. I've got two amazing kids out of it.
Yeah.
And I
yeah, I believe there's a reason why you're mentioning that as well. I want you to continue, but I feel like there's actually a reason why you're mentioning all that you're mentioning. So thank you.
So I believe that it wasn't until I began to love who I was, and I told my husband at the time back in 2018, I said, you deserve a woman that can love you for you, and as do I. And I had never been able to like break through that mental, emotional barrier of self-worth and self-love because I hated who I was, because I was raised in an environment where I was like an abomination. And when that finally, I was 38 and I was like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't live with this mindset. It's not good for my kids. It's not good for myself. My physical health was deteriorating to the point where I was struggling to walk and open and close my hands. I was like crippled with rheumatoid arthritis by 30. And just 8 years of, it was crazy. And then as soon as I left all that and just let go, I left with $24 to my name, 2 suitcases, and no retirement fund. And I have never looked back, never been happier, never been more confident. And then I was able to start charging the prices that I knew I was worth. And then I started investing in the education of business, which a lot of artists, they're struggling because they don't know business skills and they don't know speaking skills and communication skills. So I look at my books and I noticed that it didn't go to 6 figures until I started putting 5 figures into my education category, year in, year out, investing in myself, investing in what I know and how to reach the corporate world, which is where I'm at now, having the honor of getting to connect with the largest banks and the largest pharmaceutical industry and the schools and the universities and all these huge companies across Australia and hopefully more globally soon.
Absolutely.
So I feel like until we start investing in ourselves, we're only going to stay at the level where we're at. Like we have to learn, we have to grow, we have to educate. And school doesn't stop at year 12. It doesn't stop at university. I think learning is a daily practice. And I feel like a sponge. I'm a sponge. I have to stop myself from learning sometimes because like, Rowan, you cannot retain 87 podcasts and 3 hours of YouTube tutorials on business and speaking. Like, just sit and daydream and stare at the wall. You do not need the balance
Yes,
is a
yes.
challenge.
I hear you, and I resonate so much on so many levels, and I definitely had that because, I think sometimes particularly um being very creative and having these incredible ideas, you sometimes are up in the ethers, as they'll say, and
Yeah.
you're in la la land, and it's beautiful. I was very naive, like I'm saying naive like I was really really young. It was probably 3 years ago. I was very naive. I was very like, yeah, and I remember being in a secure job, at the time, but feeling this for like years and years and years, and being like, no, I did the empowerment coach, and I'm gonna do it. And I remember people like really not sensing like people's like thinking, no one's gonna stop me, and they're really like, but do you know what you're like? They were, and I was just like, no, we're not. I'm not listening to this. I know what I'm gonna do. And I had a hard lesson. I had a very hard lesson.
Very
But
hard lesson.
but you get the wisdom, and you get the
Yes.
insight, and you become even more knowledgeable, more resilient. So I don't regret any of it. Obviously, if I asked that version of me then, I probably would have been like, why did I do that? But I see how I got to the point where I'm at today, which I believe I wouldn't have. I would not have got to this point today if I didn't go through all of that, and have to be a bit like, okay, Shelley, you do actually have to understand business. So thank you
Yes.
so much for highlighting that.
I've got my accountant on speed dial, basically. I'm like, okay, Robert, what category does this go in? And what is this BAS? And what is
Yeah.
this GS? Like all the
Yes,
acronyms
yes.
and stuff, just a big learning curve, especially now that I've gone to a company. I'm like, can I come sleep on your sofa for a couple nights? Can you tell me what the hell this all means?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I just want to really like draw attention to the beautiful images behind you, because I think, and again, there's no right, there's no wrong, but there's Australia's first speed painter, etc., etc., etc. There's the idea and the doing, but also, come on, look at the standard. I'm sure
it's fun.
this is like so small compared to what you actually do on stage. And spinning as well. What?
This was a spinning one for those of you
my
watching.
goodness.
And I had 3 minutes and 53 seconds painting to I Am Woman.
Yeah.
And it was upside down, and it was for like 300 or 400 women in the audience, and everyone's just dancing and grooving to the song. And I'm
my gosh.
having to remind myself I've got 3 minutes and 53 seconds because I'm having so much fun just dancing around. And then you wait till a certain part of the song and you spin it, and the audience goes, "Ooh!" I just need to get the people that are filming me. I'm like, don't film me, film the audience when I spin it around. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
This one, it took several hours, and I did it at home after a sound healing.
Beautiful.
And just an encounter type moment. And I thought, I just need to capture this, even though it freaks most people out when you see it.
No, I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really beautiful. And yeah, and that's the other thing. And some people might not understand this, but yeah, I feel you will. The looking at an image just afterwards creates such a like profound energy and emotion to each person individually. And imagine you've created that in front of people live. That's like another level, because that's not just your thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are now beautifully infused into that image. That's like all the people in that room. Like, wow, that's so high vibrational. It's unbelievable. I just think it's incredible. And obviously, like, thinking ahead, because I always think like it's always lovely to know like the journey beforehand, where we're at now, but equally I just feel from connecting with you that this is so much more beyond greater than you. And so how do you you already touched on it about schools, but how do you infuse that belief? And because it is more a belief, I believe, more than whatever the skill is, because like what you said, you were already doing basketball skills. How do you really and this is where the motivational and keynote speaking comes in, like really inspire your audience so that it's not just a lovely experience that they walk away from, which it never is. We always take something from everything. But how do you like combine that motivation and that inspiration for all different audiences that you interact with?
I believe we as humans are energy.
Yeah,
And
I do.
I feel like we bring an energy into every space we come into. And as whoever's on the stage can regulate the temperature of that room.
Yeah.
And can control it and manipulate it, which is a honor, and it's also a responsibility.
Yes.
And I don't take it lightly. So I actually, before I started taking 1-hour keynote stages, I was just doing a 90-second explanation of what I painted and why.
Yeah.
And it was after dozens of times where people would come up to me and say, "You're a great artist. That was awesome. But those 90 seconds that you had the microphone were more inspiring and interesting than anything else that happened this entire event.
Wow.
Do more of that." And when I was 18, I'll never forget, I had a woman come up to me and she said, "Rowan, there are deep wells within you, but unless you know how to refill them, people will come to you to be refreshed and they will leave thirsty. You have got to learn how to refill your tanks."
Can you just say that again? Because that was really powerful. Thank you. Like, I know you said it, but sometimes I feel things need to be said twice. And that was really powerful. Thank you.
That's me on podcast where I'm pushing back 15 seconds going, I need to hear that again. So I'll just repeat it.
Exactly. We're just providing it for you. You don't have to zoom back, people. Listen now.
Okay. So there are deep wells within you, and people come to you throughout your life to be refilled, refreshed. But unless you know how to refill your own tank, people will come, they will leave dry, they will leave thirsty. And that, I believe, is where everyone gets really narky and angry. And road rage is when their temper, their food stores, their health, everything is drained. They have not known the signs in their body to listen to. And I stand on stages and I make sure that when I get that microphone, I am full, my tank is full.
Yes.
And that even if I'm saying the most simple thing, it is not about the statement, it's not about the sentence, it is about this energy of going, I see you, you have purpose, you are worthy, you are loved. And that energy is just amazing. I have had times where before an event, you can look at people and you go, oh, they're really going to receive what I say. And you go, oh, I don't think they're vibing on the same page. It probably won't land, but I'm not going to reach everybody because that's the way the world is. But I remember recently I was at this event, and prior to, I had this conversation with this man whose ego was so through the roof. I thought, I'm just not going to reach him. I'm just too down to earth. We're on different wavelengths. That's okay. You might get something out of it when I get to the analytical stuff about creativity and numbers and percentages and charts. But afterwards, he came up to me and pulled me aside and was crying.
Wow.
I was like, you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Beautiful.
One time I was at an event and this tall, large, broad-shouldered man walked up to me, and he was like 6'2". He goes, "My name is David and I own the largest such and such, in all of Australia." And then he looked me right in the eye and he goes, "I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you. Tell me why."
Yeah. Tell
me why. I don't know what I said, but he was bawling in my arms within 30 seconds. And you know what he said to me, Shel Marie? He said, "My father died last week. I've told 5 other people here at this event, and they all kept speaking like I said nothing."
Oh, wow.
The corporate world, it needs hugs. It needs love. Here, these people are making massive decisions that impact all of our lives.
Absolutely.
And their tanks are empty.
Yeah.
So when I stand on that stage, sometimes I'm like, men, do you realize you need 12 hugs, 9 to 12 hugs a day for your emotional tank? And women, you need 12 to 15. So sometimes there'll be a line of men because they're like, oh, she's gay. It's safe to hug her for a long time. It's not weird. And I just give them a big old good bear hug.
Oh, beautiful.
They get back in line for another one. Yeah.
And for people listening right now, we don't even need to actually, there's no selling going on here at all. She's just, I don't know about you, if I was in Australia right now, I'd be booking straight away to be going to one of your events. More than just your talent, your multiple talents. You're just an incredible person who's making so much, I believe, transformational service. So, like, let's not even use the words and label, because it's so much beyond that. And it's just that, I believe, soul to soul, and really like being present. Because yes, you could go and I'm sure, you know, but like what you said, you don't even think sometimes about what you're about to paint, because you want to have the experience as well. And that, you know, imagine for some people, that is some serious bravery, courage, like resilience. And I just want to really honor that. There's so many layers to this conversation. And I want people to really think deeper than this, of like the real key of this conversation is we all have our unique talents, we all have our unique passions, we all have, you know, things way beyond all the labels we are told that are us. And just be creative. And creativity isn't just dancing, art, singing. It's using your mind in a way that you can be innovative, and you can like bring more love and joy and fun to the world. And you can do it as you have so beautifully expressed, and you can receive abundance in all forms for it. But don't hold on to that. Do it from your heart first, because you never know, like the lovely David, you never know why that person is in that room at that time attending your event. So really, thank you so much. What an incredible conversation. You're amazing.
Thanks.
And yeah, I believe that one day I will definitely have the privilege of seeing you live, and it's going to be incredible.
I was performing in London back in 2017. Wow. So I need to come back.
Yeah, but equally, I'm a woman of the world. I'm everywhere.
Come on, down under. I've been in Australia for 21 years, and I can't get rid of my American accent to save my life. But my girlfriend is Australian, so I get to hear it every day, which is nice.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I know you've shared so many incredible, beautiful, motivational, again, not intentionally, just you're the embodiment of it. But what I always like to ask my guests before they go is, if there was something someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
You are the artist of your life, and you have nothing to prove. And when you have nothing to prove, you have everything to give.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much. And all your information is going to be in the description. So reach out to this incredible woman and find out all the magical events that she is creating and much more than that. Really, thank you so much. And share some love for this beautiful guest.
Thanks,
Thank you.
That's the magic that Zest is in.